Hello everybody, my name is Andy Pope. I'm a journalist and a lifelong musician. I'm honored to have been asked to share my experience around homelessness and healthcare. I am not a homeless person, and I have never been homeless in Idaho, where I have lived for 5 years now. Prior to that, however, I experienced a decade of homelessness in the San Francisco Bay Area, where it's pretty easy if you're a renter to lose your place of residence. A one-bedroom apartment in San Francisco rents for about $3,000 now, and many very decent people are winding up on the streets. Then once you get on the streets, you're surrounded by all the street people and all the drugs and all the chaos, and it becomes very difficult to pull out of it. I finally did decide to leave the state of California and all my friends and family behind me. Since they couldn't help me anyway, I moved up to Idaho. By then I was on disability. Got a one-bedroom apartment here for less than $500. I have done everything in the past 5 years that would have led to homelessness in the San Francisco Bay Area, and none of those things have made me homeless. I enjoy my life. Though I have not been homeless in Idaho, I have observed that the same things that make homelessness very challenging in the Bay Area entail up here as well. If we catch them on time, we won't become like California, or Portland, or Seattle, or large urban areas where homelessness really festers. The challenges of homelessness are many. For one thing, there is an awful lot of theft. And a cell phone is something you really need to hang on to. You need it to call your doctor and to make appointments and many other things. You need to be able to afford one and keep it tucked in the deepest recesses of your backpack, where thieves can't find it so easily. Thieves hang out in shelters too. My personal preference was to find a secluded spot outdoors somewhere in the outskirts where one feels safer. The so-called Obama phone is a good deal, and there are qualifying criteria that many poor people can meet. A minor health problem can become a major health problem very quickly. I caught a flu in a homeless shelter once and was subsequently kicked out of the shelter because I had a flu. I went to a hospital. They wouldn't accept me. The doctor said to rest in bed for 10 days, but I did not have a bed, so I had a flu outdoors, which could have easily morphed into something worse, and I saw many people perish overnight from things like hypothermia. But we should capitalize on how relatively easy access to health care is here than in the big city and most parts of California. When I transferred my Medicare and Medi-Cal, they call it Medi-Cal down there, it became Medicaid up here, and it took me one single phone call and one single trip to the HSA. That would have been weeks or months of bureaucracy down there. But if you ask 10 homeless people what the worst thing is about being homeless, 9 of them will say the way we are treated. I am not a person with a criminal record, for example, but it was assumed that I was a criminal. People find out you're homeless and they assume you're a drug addict or lazy. It's rarely perceived that you're homeless because of a lack of affordable housing, yet that is the primary reason why people become homeless. And here in Idaho, we have affordable housing. So that's a plus that we can build on. But my advice to anyone dealing with homeless people is to please treat them with dignity and respect. Treat them as equals. Don't condescend, don't pass judgment, don't feign sympathy. One does not know what it is like to be in their shoes until one asks them. The Latah Recovery Center partners with Sojourners Alliance to find residence for homeless people, and that's one thing. But if we really want to solve the homeless problem, we need to give homeless people a hand up. An endless string of handouts may keep you homeless for the rest of your life. I'm not saying people don't need to eat, but the way I escaped homelessness was that a single hand up from a person who believed in me to the tune of $600 effectively ended 12 years of homelessness, and I have been happy and healthy here in Moscow, Idaho, as a result of that single $600 boost. The Latah Recovery Center is the first place anyone should go to when in any kind of crisis. They don't deal just with recovery from drug abuse, but from trauma and many other things. So I will put in a plug for the Latah Recovery Center, but if you want to really learn more about homelessness, just go to my blog at edeninbabylon.com/blog, or just go to the website and you'll figure it out. If you go to the blog, that's Eden, like the Garden of Eden, in babylon.com/blog, hit the category that says homelessness and take it from there. So thank you for letting me share my experience, and I hope this has been helpful.